In the headlines, fuel marketers confirm petrol price hike to over 500 per litre. Court adjourns Labour Party Peter Obi's presidential petition over illness of his key staff. Bandits kill Vigilante leader, 17 others in Zamfara. And on foreign scene, Sudan army suspends participation in Jeddah ceasefire talks. Hello and thanks for joining us on Trust News Update. I am Abdurrahman Umar. Thanks for joining. And now the news in full. Oil marketers on Wednesday confirmed the hike in the pump price of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, to over 500 per litre depending on the location of purchase. A document that allegedly emanated from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, according to marketers, which contained figures that were described as the correct NNPC pump price and new pump price per May 31st, 2023 of petrol, showed that the latest cost of PMS in various states and the Federal Capital Territory. Figures in the document indicated that while the cost of petrol in Borno State was put at 557 per litre, the prices in Lagos, Abuja, Enugu and Ekiti were outlined as 488 per litre, 537 per litre, 520 per litre and 500 per litre respectively. Although officials of NNPCL and the Nigerian Mainstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority kept mute about the document when contacted, oil marketers told our correspondent that the document was authentic. Reduced fuel price on assumption of office, group urges Tinubu, the president, Petroleum Products, Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, Billy Gillis Harry, confirmed the document as true, which implied that the cost of petrol had been increased to over 500 per litre in various states by the NNPCL. Asked whether the document on the new pump price of petrol purportedly issued by the NNPCL to oil marketers was true, Gillis Harry replied, correct. The Presidential Election Petition Court has adjourned to June 1st the hearing of the petition by the Labour Party and its candidate, Peter Obi, against the President Bola Tinubu following the illness of two key staff members of his legal team. Counsel for the petitioners, Awakalu San, persuaded the court to adjourn further proceedings on the case on the grounds that two key members of the team suddenly fell ill and will not attend today's proceedings. He said their absence has affected earlier plans to tender vital documents before the court. Responding to the development, counsel to the respondents said they were constrained to oppose the request. Counsel for Tinubu, Wale Olanifikun San, told the court that he was not opposed to the request for an adjournment, just as counsel for the Independent National Electoral Commission, A.B. Mahmoud San, and that of the All Progressives Congress, Latif Fapemi San, acceded to the application. In a brief ruling, the president of the court, Justice Haruna Sammani, granted the application and adjourned the petition till Thursday. No fewer than 17 persons, including a vigilante leader, have been reportedly killed in separate attacks on communities on the Rwandrua ward of the Maru local government area in Zamfara State. An eyewitness, Aminu Eliasu, who is a member of local vigilante group known as Ensakai, said that the armed bandits have targeted the vigilante leader of Dangamji community. He said the vigilante leader, Lahiru Dangamji, was killed alongside three other persons in his hideout inside bush around Danzara community. He added that when the news of Lahiru's death got to the community, members of the vigilante group in Rwandrua quickly mobilized to the area, but they were ambushed by the bandits along the road. Although police authorities in the state are yet to confirm the incident, when contacted, the acting public relations officer of Zamfara State Police Command, ASP Yazid Abubakar, said the command is yet to receive any report of the incident. Another resident of Rwandurua, Abdullahi Rwandurua, said the bandits afterwards moved to Arafa community and a neighboring settlement where they were killed where they killed 3 persons, including one 20-year-old Murtala Hussaini, Sani Mansour, and one Abu Boss. 2 senators of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Senators Matthew Oroheke and Ayo Akinye-Lure, have resigned from the party. The notice of their resignations was contained in 2 separate letters addressed to the Senate President Ahmad Lon and read during Wednesday's plenary session. Senator Gede represents Edo South Senatorial District in the Red Chamber, while Senator Akinye-Lure represents Ondo Central Senatorial District. In the letter, Senator Orhigide said his decision to resign is because of the inability of the PDP to reconcile the power struggle in the party. In the meantime, the newly sworn-in governor of Taraba State, Abu Kefas, has dissolved the 16 local government caretaker committee chairman in the state. The governor, in a press statement, asked that they hand over government properties in their possession to the heads of local government administration in their respective councils. The dissolution is with immediate effect. Meanwhile, the governor has made his first appointments of chief protocol officer and chief press secretary. They are Yusuf Ubandoma and Yusuf Sanda, respectively. He also approved the appointment of J.G. Williams as his chief of staff, with Timothy Katabs as the secretary to Taraba State government. In another development, the governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Oti, has directed the immediate suspension of all kinds of transport levies payable to Abia government and imposed on tricycles, keke, buses, taxis, and other commercial vehicles plying Abia roads. This is in line with the campaign promise of the governor to sanitize methods of revenue collection in the state and stop all kinds of extortion, intimidation, and harassment of motorists. According to a statement by the governor's media aide, Ferdinand Ekoma, on Wednesday, said that the suspension takes immediate effect and will remain until government reviews these levies and makes public its arrangements for the smooth, organized, and transparent collections of such transport levies in a manner that will not lead to extortion, intimidation, and violation of rights and privileges of Abia residents. The statement said, believes that the present method is archaic and very harmful to the lives of the people and the economic well-being of the state, and thus should not be allowed to continue. Ikoma said that in the light of the above decision, the governor has asked all those involved directly and indirectly to discontinue forthwith or face the wrath of the law, as security agents have been briefed and directed to apprehend and bring to justice anyone found violating this directive. Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, popularly known as Abba Gida, has declared a state of emergency on water scarcity. The governor issued a one-week ultimatum to the management of Kano State Water Board to submit its demands and bring an end to the lingering water scarcity. Yusuf made the declaration when he visited the Chalawa water treatment plant for an inspection late Tuesday. He said the development is part of his administration focused to cushion the effect of water scarcity across the state. While on the inspection, the governor expressed dissatisfaction with the dilapidated condition of the facilities at the water treatment plant, saying that the issue of water shortage will soon become history. The governor pointed out that the state government will fulfill its campaign promises and urged Kano residents to give him the maximum cooperation. Briefing the governor, the director of production Chalawa water treatment plant, Sakabu Lawal, explained that the only 2 water pumping machines out of 6 are functional. It could also be recalled that the issue of water scarcity in the state is not limited to the metropolitan areas, but has extended to rural areas too. You are watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly after the break, we talk about justice for the seized OAU student. For details of this and more, do stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Treated a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Already, if you look at English squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back, and if you are just joining us, this is news update on Trust TV. Now we take a look at the recap of our top stories. Fuel marketers confirm petrol price hike to over 500 per litre, and court adjourns Labour Party Peter Obi's presidential petition over illness of his key staff. Now moving on to more stories. Following the dissolution of the disciplinary committee of the park management system in Oyo State, led by Mukaila Lamidi, popularly known as Auxiliary, police authorities have arrested 78 suspects and recovered assorted arms, ammunition, and charms. Similarly, security agents have appealed to citizens of the state to furnish them with useful information that could lead to the arrest of the former park manager Mukaila Lamidi, who is said to be on the run. The State Commissioner of Police, Adebola Williams, gave the charge in Ibadan during a parade of the suspects, where he assured residents of adequate security. The report.
The obvious shock and surprise on the faces of onlookers and police officers who had come to catch a glimpse of the large seizure of arms, ammunition, charm, and other dangerous weapons intercepted during midnight sting operation on the hotel facility of former chairman Park Management System, Mukaila Lamidi, sent cold shivers down the spine of all present at this parade.
To the above, today, Tuesday, 35/2023, in a strategic intelligence coordinated raid around its location at Diamond Hotel, Alakia, Isebo, under Egbeda local government area, 78 suspected Ulus who had perfected plans to unleash mayhem at the early hours of today at major parts of the metropolis were arrested in possession of sophisticated weapons, 724 cartridges, assorted charms, 33 mobile phones, and a sum cash of about 3,450,000 naira.
The clampdown is coming hours after the state government dissolved the disciplinary committee of the park management system, and the police said the 78 suspects had perfected plans to cause trouble within the state.
During the raid, sophisticated firearms were recovered inside the hotel rooms and in the trunk compartment of the parked vehicles within the hotel. Worthy of note is that though the PMS chieftain was able to escape with some of his boys during the gun duel with the police, however, a member of the group was neutralized in a gun duel with the police. In furtherance of the above, Oyo State Police Command, under my constructive leadership, reiterates its unwavering commitment towards tackling criminal rascality, hooliganism, and blatant disregard for the rule of law. Consequent on the above, the Oyo State Police Command enjoins residents to cooperate with the police with the provision of useful information to help apprehend the sacked PMS chieftain.
Cash running into millions of naira, charms, dangerous weapons as well as arms and ammunition still litter the streets, and the security agents here have promised to smoke out all criminal elements hell-bent on disrupting the peace in Nigerian peace-setter state, Oyo. To achieve this, the police are calling for synergy from members of the public to put an end to the needless loss of precious lives and property.
The Osun State High Court in Osogbo has sentenced a popularly businessman Ramon Adedoyin to death by hanging over the murder of a student of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Timothy Adegoke. The Chief Judge of the State, Justice Adepele Ojo, while delivering judgment on Tuesday, found Adedoyin guilty and convicted him. Hamid Oyebade filed in the report.
Late Timothy Adegoke lodged at Hilton Honors Hotel between 5th and 7th of November 2021, where he was sent to his early grave. He was murdered and his remains evacuated and dumped in a bush on Ede Road by some staff of the hotel. The owner of the hotel, Ramon Adedoyin, and his staff were arrested and prosecuted at the Osun State High Court in Osogbo. The Chief Judge of the State, Justice Adepele Ojo, found Adedoyin guilty and sentenced him to death by hanging.
The first defendant is Dr. Raymond Adedoyin, and he has been convicted for conspiracy to commit murder and murder, among other counts preferred against him. The third defendant is Adeni Yaderogba. He was the manager of the hotel. He was the one that admitted that himself, Rahim Adedoyin, who is now at large, the fifth defendant, evacuated the dead body of the late Timothy Adegoke from the hotel, from room 305 where he was lodged, and evacuated it and dumped him at Ede Road. They both admitted and they were convicted for their various roles in the entire case. So the fifth defendant is Oyetunde Kazim. He was also a money manager as well in the same hotel. So the three of them, including the seventh defendant, have been convicted for conspiracy to commit murder and murder.
The range of the sentence?
For the conspiracy, they were convicted for 10 years imprisonment, and for some other offenses, they were convicted for life imprisonment. And the other one, the ultimate conviction was that they were convicted to death by hanging. Justice has been well served in this case, in the sense that the late Timothy Adegoke did not die in vain.
Yeah, in line with the provisions of the law, we will consult with our clients.
The relatives of the deceased expressed happiness with the judgment, while the convicts might proceed to the higher court until their rights of appeal is exhausted. Hamid Oyebade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
The Osun State High Court sitting in Osogbo has sentenced Ms. Adediji Adesola, the receptionist that received late Timothy Adegoke when he lodged in the Hilton Hotel Ile-Ife in the evening of November 6, 2021, to 2 years imprisonment for altering the receipt issued to the deceased. Adesola's sentence was pronounced at the sitting of the court on Wednesday by Osun State Chief Judge Adepele Ojo. She was said to have fabricated another receipt for the purpose of concealing traces of Adegoke's lodgement at the hotel. The presiding judge, Justice Adepele Ojo, had on Tuesday found Adesola guilty of doctoring the hotel receipt issued to the deceased, fabricating another and concealing of evidence charged against her. He further said the 2 years should start counting from the first day she was detained since the commencement of the matter. And we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. And now on foreign scene. Sudan's army has suspended its participation in talks over a ceasefire and humanitarian access, easing fears of renewed fighting that has displaced tens of thousands of people. The talks with the rival paramilitary Rapid Support Forces (RSF) began in the Saudi Arabia port city of Jeddah in early May and had produced a declaration of commitments to protecting civilians and 2 short-term ceasefire deals that have been repeatedly violated. The army and the RSF had agreed to extend a week-long ceasefire deal by 5 days just before it was due to expire late on Monday. Until late Tuesday, intense clashes were reported in Sudan's capital, Khartoum, with residents reporting intense fighting in all 3 of the adjoining cities that make up Sudan's greater capital around the confluence of the Nile, Khartoum. Omdurman and Khartoum North, the truce was brokered and is being remotely monitored by Saudi Arabia and the United States, which say it has been violated by both sides but has allowed for the delivery of aid. The war has forced nearly 1.4 million people to flee their homes, including more than 350,000 who had crossed into neighboring countries. More than 6 weeks into the conflict, the United Nations estimated more than half the population, 25 million people, to be in need of aid and protection. 7 people have died after consuming adulterated alcohol in Meknes, central Morocco. An investigation was launched after 7 people died after consuming adulterated alcohol suspected of having been purchased from a grocery shop. Investigations led to the arrest of a 67-year-old shopkeeper and his 17-year-old apprentice, suspected of possessing and selling adulterated alcoholic products that had caused the death of consumers. The police also seized around 10 empty bottles containing medical alcohol, which caused the death of the victims. And on sports news, the 5th seed Stefanos Tsitsipas reached the French Open third round with a straight-set victory over Spain's Roberto Caballes-Baena. The Greek runner-up at Roland Garros in 2021 won 6-3, 7-6, 7-4, 6-2 on court Suzanne Lenglen Tsitsipas, 24 next place Argentine Diego Schwartzman for Portugal's Nuno Borges, both of whom are unseeded. Tsitsipas has never won a Grand Slam, having lost in the French Open and Australian Open finals. He broke Caballes-Baena twice in winning the first set, and although he broke twice again in the second, Caballes-Baena responded immediately each time as 4 games in a row went against serve. Tsitsipas took the break quickly, went 4-0 off in the third and served out to complete victory in 16 minutes. Manchester United City boss Pep Guardiola has been named Manager of the Year by the League Managers Association. It's the 3rd time Guardiola has collected the Sir Alex Ferguson Trophy, voted by managers across all of the divisions. The Spaniard, 52, also won the Premier League Manager of the Year award after his side clinched a 3rd consecutive title and 5th in 6 seasons. Guardiola became only the 3rd manager to win 3 or more LMA Manager of the Year awards, matching David Moyes' tally, but still 2 behind Sir Alex Ferguson. City faced Manchester United in Saturday's FA Cup final. Victory in that match will set off a chance to win the treble when they face Inter Milan in the Champions League final on June 10th. And with that, we have come to the end of Trust News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and our YouTube live stream. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for watching and bye for now.